everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Mrs. Brown, and today we're talking about dividing fractions. Your learning targets for this lesson is for you to be able to say to yourself, I can divide fractions. When you feel that way, check off that box. The second is that you can say, I can solve real-world problems with division of fractions. So we're going to talk today about the basics, using a method that I like to call keep, change, flip in order to solve division of fractions. Now today we're talking only about proper fractions. So you'll see in my example, 3/4 divided by 1/3 is two proper fractions here. We don't have any improper today or any mixed numbers that we're dealing with. So basically what we're doing here is we're going to use this keep, change, flip method in order to solve this division problem. So step one, what we want to do here is look at the keep in step number one. So step one, we're going to say, I'm going to keep the first fraction the same. So my keep right here is relating to my first fraction, which is the 3/4. So I'm going to say I'm going to keep that 3/4 exactly the way it is. So that's the K for the KCF. I'm keeping that 3/4 exactly the same. And step number two is relating to change. What I want to do here is change the division sign to multiplication. So what I'm looking at here is I'm actually going to do something a little different. I'm going to take this division and I'm going to change that division sign and make it into a multiplication sign. Because what I'm ultimately going to do here is I'm ultimately going to multiply these fractions across, which is what we have been practicing in previous lessons. Now, the last, not the final step, but the second to final step is to flip. That's where I have keep, change, flip. The second fraction and we're going to flip that upside down. Now, when I do that and I flip this guy, I'm going to take this 1/3 and I'm actually going to change it all the way over. So I'm flipping it so that the 3 now goes on top of the 1. So there's a vocab that goes with this. When I flip that over, this right here, going from 1/3 to 3/1 is actually called the reciprocal. So this is now the reciprocal of this fraction here. So when I turn it upside down, we find the reciprocal. Last but not least, step number 4. We're actually going to take what we've done and we're going to multiply across for your answer. So I'm taking all of this. Step number 4 is to take this whole piece, 3/4 times 3/1, and I'm going to multiply across just like we had practiced in previous lessons. So 3 times 3, I know that that's 9, and 4 times 1, I know that that's 4. Now you're going to notice here, what I have now is an improper fraction. I have a numerator that is larger than my denominator. So what I'm going to want to do is turn that into a mixed number so that I have a proper fraction in addition to a whole number. So I noticed that 4 goes into 9 2 times with 1 left over, and my 4 goes down at the bottom. So my answer here to this problem is 2 1/4. So what I'd like you to do is, keeping these steps in mind, the KCF, keep, change, flip, what I'd like you to do is pause the video and try these couple problems. 5/6 divided by 1/2. And try this problem here, the problem of, actually a real world problem about Hannah buying some hamburger meat for a party. So take some time right now, maybe about 2 minutes, and try solving those on your own. When you're done, unpause the video and we'll go over those together. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've tried these and you're feeling a little bit confident about what you've done. So what we want to do here is look back at our steps, and what we want to do is definitely following keep, change, flip. We want to keep this first fraction exactly the same. So we're keeping this 5/6 the way it is. When we are referring to change, what we want to do here is take our division sign and change it to, I hope you're telling me, multiplication. And last, I want to find the reciprocal of this fraction right here, which is basically flipping 1/2 and making it into 2/1. Now I know that's spaced out quite a bit, but if I jam it all together, this now gives me the problem of 5/6 times 2/1. And if I multiply that across, I know that 5 times 2 is 10, and 6 times 1 is 6. Now I want to figure out, okay, well that's a mixed number. Well, it could be a mixed number, I'm sorry, it's an improper fraction right now. So what I'll want to do is put the 6, how many times it can go into 10, and that's only 1 time, with 4 left over, and my 6 is still my denominator. I could actually simplify that even more because I know that 2 goes into both 4 and 6. So I could say if I divided those both by 2, I could come up with 1 and 2/3 as my final answer. I hope that's what you got as well. Now looking at this problem with Hannah, we want to break this down because this is a real world problem. If Hannah bought 9 pounds of hamburger meat for a party, each burger she makes requires 1/2 pound of meat. How many burgers can she make for her guest? Well, I have to figure out here, most importantly, what am I dividing by what? I don't want to divide up the 1/2 by 9 because that's taking the amount for each burger and then splitting it up into 9 smaller burgers. We want to actually take this 9 pounds and figure out how many times, how many groups of 1/2 can I make that. So I'm going to take 9 and actually divide that by 1/2 because that's going to tell us how many burgers I can make for all of those guests. So now that I have my problem, figuring out that I need to divide 9 by 1/2, I'll want to use my keep, change, flip, same as I have up at the top. So keeping 9 the same, I know that 9, if I write it like this, 9/1, that's still the same thing as saying 9 wholes because 1 would go into 9 times. So it's just going to help in the future when I have my fractions to multiply. So just remembering that 9 really has an imaginary 1 underneath will be helpful. I definitely want to change my division sign to multiplication, and then finally flip this 1/2 over. So when I do that, I come up with 9/1 times 2/1, which gives me 9 times 2 is 18/1. And hey, 1 can go into 18, a total of 18 times. Don't forget to label your answer though, because this is actually telling us that she could make her guests 18 burgers. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to going over it with you in class tomorrow.